What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Nightmares Podcast, where we talk about all things horror, video games, movies, music, and in this case, directors. I'm here with the usual suspects, Brandon.
Sup?
And, of course, Zack. And Victor's hanging out in the booth, pressing the buttons and doing sound, because he's a rock star. What's going on, man?
He's pressing our buttons.
Yes, he is. This is part of the series where we do something kind of different. It's a continuation of it where we pick 5 of something. We do our top 5 of something. I kind of came up with a unique title or unique kind of topic, which would be directors who have never directed horror, and I'm going to add a quick caveat, and directors who haven't directed horror in a really long time. And more specifically, what do you want to see from them? What do you think, what genre do you think that they could cover? So I definitely gave this a lot of thought over the last couple of days. So I think a good runner-up would be Peter Jackson. I want Peter Jackson to get back into horror like he did in the early days. I think he's awesome. I think he'd be great, especially now when he has a little bit more experience under his belt, a little bit more money. Hopefully he can do something really awesome. So
what's the last thing Peter Jackson did?
That documentary,
the World War I one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was great.
I still need to see it, but I heard great things.
Yeah. I think it'd be awesome to see him come back to that. But so here what I want to do. So I thought that one of the directors would be Todd Phillips to do, and more specifically, a teenage horror movie in a house party, and have it be a little bit more horror comedy. It's something he's very good at and something he's very comfortable with. I would like to take like a Project X or like a Superbad and then like give it a horror twist.
You really like Project X?
I do. I think it's a hilarious movie. I think it's a wild movie. It's not a good movie. It's a ridiculous movie though. But
I would have been much happier if it was about the 12-year-old security guards.
I know. Yeah, you always like that. There's a spin-off movie somewhere in there. But I think it would be cool to see him kind of tackle that subgenre. Like I don't know, what's that one called? Slumber Party Massacre Part 5. That type of thing. Is that what the name of it is?
Dude, Bro, Party Massacre 3.
Yeah, that. There you go. Dude, I knew it was a long title. It was a ridiculous title, but it is that one. So, I think Judd Apatow to do a horror comedy. Period. Whatever he decides to do, I think would be great. I think it'd be fucking.
It'll be
fun.
about an hour and a half too long.
Probably, but yeah, I would be definitely interested to see what it is. I'd be interested. I don't know if I go in the theaters, but I would go and see it in the movie. I want to see Steven Spielberg tackle the classic Universal monsters. I don't know which ones, but I think it'd be really cool to see him tackle, especially his relationship with Universal Studios. I think he would be able to provide a different take from it. Mm-hmm. I know it hasn't really worked out all that well in the last couple of years, so I'd be really interested to see what his spin on it is. I think I'd be cool with either Dracula or Frankenstein, at least to start. But there is part of me that would be very curious to see how he does with A Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think that would be really cool.
I'd rather just see him do another Jaws movie.
But dude, Jaws was Jaws. Like Jaws.
Let him do his Jaws prequel.
See?
Okay, all right, I'm good. But yeah, no, I think that'd be really cool though to see him do something with Universal monsters. The other one is based on a creepypasta that I heard a long time ago. Was about a guy who hunts down monsters for the government. Mm-hmm. I think
the cryptid thing.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that I'd like to see a Chris Nolan movie with him, but like Chris Nolan, like early 2000s Chris Nolan, like Memento, like a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate, not as this big, vast like Dark Knight bullshit. I think it would be cool to see things he used to do, like Memento and.
So no Interstellar, Chris.
No.
I
don't need this.
Or
Insomnia. Yeah, that was.
Or even better, Dunkirk, Chris Nolan, where the editing is some of the most piss poor I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. Like I don't need to see like Chris Nolan's drinking his own Kool-Aid too much. Like I need to see him go back down in scale. I think it would be cool to do, that concept and do it in a smaller scale. It'd be really cool to see what he can do with that. I think he would add his own little twist on it. I think it'd be really, really fucking cool. And then my number one pick is Scorsese. And there was an episode of, it was a failed spinoff that was supposed to happen from Supernatural when it was supposed to be in Chicago, where they had like 5 families of monsters. Like, you know, some of them were shapeshifters, some of them were vampires, some of them were werewolves, and they all fight for Chicago.
It was based off that one episode that they did with the kids or the teenagers or whatever.
No, but it was actually like a legitimate episode.
It was based off one of the episodes they had in Chicago. Like,
yes, correct. It was
like
supposed to be,
it was some Romeo and Juliet bullshit,
correct.
right?
It was literally that was supposed to be the first episode of that series. It just never got any steam.
Dude, it was because of that episode that I actually started watching the series. It was just like, I saw they were hiring like cast members, crew members for it, so I was just like, let me watch the show and, you know, try to catch up and see what this is. Oh, wow, the show's actually good, and it's not some Twilight vampire bullshit.
No, it's legitimately good. I thought that concept was really cool. It's disappointing that I watched it recently and threw my watch through, and I was like, oh, this was a really good fucking episode. I'm actually really pissed that they didn't do anything with this. And I'd actually be very curious to see Scorsese do something with this. Like actually do like five families of like monster families that control a city. And then, if he wants to do it like The Godfather, where it's from high above, or if he wants to do it like Goodfellas, where it's kind of like just one of the lower end vampires and lower end werewolves, and kind of like their day to day and how this whole war kind of mounts up. Because the whole thing was them fighting over humans, basically livestock. They were fighting over like territories for livestock. That was their whole gist. But I think it'd be really cool because if you watch a lot of, and I think it would be especially cool if you were just going to pick one type of monster, I think it would be vampires. Because vampires have that, like, kind of, hierarchy structure to them. Like, very similar in how...
Well, there's already a Mafia vampire movie.
Is there?
Innocent Blood, directed by John Landis.
No kidding.
Like
okay.
1992. I think I told you about it once.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's about this female vampire. She only kills criminals because she doesn't want to take down good people. She just wants to, feed and thin out the numbers of bad people.
Yeah.
And so one night she hunts down a mob boss, but she didn't count that the mob boss has a gun on him, so he basically shoots her, and so she runs away before she finishes the job. And so one of her rules is she always disposes of the body because she doesn't want to turn anybody. But because she was injured and everything, she left before she could actually finish him off.
And he gets turned. I remember you could tell me about this. Yeah, that's really fucking cool. I was thinking more like how...
It's a traditional, like, mob family of vampires,
Correct.
Not this guy gets turned and starts going, whee!
Yeah, I think for me, that would be definitely a traditional mob story, but done from the aspect of a vampire family, or fuck all of the families. And I would be good to also have Coppola take care of that as well. Like, he could also handle that the same way he handled Godfather. So I almost want to see like a Goodfellas monster movie and then like a Godfather monster movie. Like, I think both of them would be fucking fantastic. Which I think Scorsese could handle either one, to be perfectly honest. I mean, like, he's good about getting from above and then also getting the low level as well. So I think it would be cool. It was really inspired by that episode of Supernatural, though. I think the whole concept was really fucking cool. It's a bummer they didn't really get a chance to run with it.
Would have been interesting to see where they take it.
Yeah, it really would have. Like, it was setting up to be really interesting. And then, also the families have wars, and there's a lot of conflict of that. I almost would be very interested to see him either do it as a movie or do it as a series. I would be fine with either one.
I think he would definitely do a movie.
I mean, most likely Scorsese is going to do a movie. That's just, he doesn't really do the television thing. But either ways, I think I would really enjoy, those directors tackling that. But I would want to hear from you guys, though. What are some directors that haven't really directed horror or haven't done it in a long time that you want to see do?
I only have one pick for that,
Please.
and this is something I'm taking from a Saturday Night Live joke, and I'd like to see Wes Anderson
I was fucking ready for it.
Wes Anderson do Home Invasion.
Dude, the skit was great, and it's just like...
They nailed it.
They did?
I want to see it.
Same. I don't know how the fuck they haven't made the movie yet. Like, it's here. You have the blueprint. Make the goddamn movie.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen I've seen a piece of the sketch. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing.
That has so much more meaning now.
It's all there. It's all there. Oh my god, it's there.
Yep.
Toss that in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. No. I'm 100% on board with that. That is all there. That should. Yeah. That. I mean, like, it's so easy. You have the whole cast. You have everything. I mean, Alec Baldwin might be a little busy.
I was gonna say it might be the last thing he ever gets cast in.
Maybe probably not. But yeah, no, it's all there. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
What about you, Zach?
George Lucas.
Yeah, or I mean any Star Wars horror based thing.
I mean, I would love him to do Star Wars and just with horror, but I mean, I wouldn't mind just seeing him do an original thing just with horror. I mean, the man created Star Wars, one of my all-time favorite things, if not my all-time just favorite story and just universe or just creation of all time. I'd love to see what he can do with horror. I mean, why the fuck not?
Yeah,
I'm sure he could afford to take the risk.
Yeah,
Legit.
He's got a couple $1 billion running around. No big deal. But yeah, no, I think that would all be great. I think, especially George Lucas, though, that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
There's something original, though. Something brand new that he's never done. I would actually be fun to see him doing something not sci-fi.
Like I said, horror.
But one would automatically think he would do horror sci-fi.
I wouldn't mind as long as it's horror. I mean, anything he does, I'll be there in a goddamn heartbeat. But if it's horror, you bet your bottom fucking dollar I'll be there.
The Wes Anderson thing was pretty great, though. I definitely want to see Peter Jackson get back in horror, though. He needs to do something, anything. Victor, any directors that you can think of? Well, no,
That reaction was great.
Okay, with the last 5 to 10 seconds of thinking about it.
I love putting him on the spot.
Somebody was mentioning Quentin Tarantino earlier.
Yeah.
Directing and whatnot. How about y'all expand on that further?
Yeah, no. One of our special guests mentioned Quentin Tarantino, which, if it's funny, he's actually never directed a horror movie. He's written one.
Unless you count Death Proof.
Unless you count
Death Proof is not a goddamn horror movie. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That movie is boring as fuck. If anything, the most horrifying thing about it is how boring it is.
Boring does not dictate genre.
Then there you go.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
You know what, Mark? It doesn't need to make sense.
And then also, if you want to get really weird, okay, let's say Death Proof itself isn't horror. It was still part of Grindhouse. Is Grindhouse horror?
I haven't seen enough Grindhouse to make a determination. So, Zach,
You haven't seen Grindhouse?
I've seen,
I'm talking about the actual movie. Grindhouse.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the genre.
No, I'm talking about the movie Grindhouse.
No, I've never seen the movie Grindhouse.
I'll say this.
What good are you?
It's horror until it gets to Death Proof.
There's your
I don't
reason.
like you guys.
He never did. I love it how when I asked Victor a question, he looks like a kid who just got busted with his dad's Playboy. Sorry. But yeah, no, Quentin Tarantino would be cool, man. To do that. I don't know what genre. Actually, you know what? I would be really interested to.
I just thought of one right now.
All right, please.
Clint Eastwood. Why not give him a shot? He's
Ooh.
been handing stuff out every once in a while, so
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
That's a good one.
What genre would you want him to tackle?
Horror.
No, I mean, what subgenre of horror?
I'm with Brandon on this one.
What topic of horror? There's a lot of
Because
options.
his first movie was Play Misty for me, which is very much in the suspense realm.
Oh, okay.
And then his second movie was High Plains Drifter, which definitely has some supernatural and horror elements to it. Not a horror movie, but it's definitely got those elements to it.
You know what? I think that you should just go for the obvious on that one. Something that is horror based in Western. I think he does westerns the best, so
I'd give it a shot.
I would definitely give it a shot.
Not a big Western guy, but
if they're going to do an actual movie of Red Dead Undead, I would definitely have him take care of that.
I'd have to watch it out of obligation. But doesn't mean I would enjoy it.
I would. I fucking love Red Dead, and I love Red Undead. It was great. It was a lot of fucking fun.
It's the only reason I wanted to play that goddamn game, and I still didn't even get to play that expansion. I was really annoyed.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Quentin Tarantino, though, would be good. I would actually... want to see him tackle a werewolf movie, and just for the fact that there's not enough of them. But I'd be very interested to see his style and do a werewolf movie. I don't know why. I don't have a good reason for why. I just think it would be really fucking cool. Yeah.
Werewolves of the West.
Werewolves of Southern California.
The
You
what?
see, here's the thing about the song Werewolves of London. That's how the dialogue would start in the opening scene.
Or we could call it the Wild Wild Wolf.
starring Will Smith. It's Will Smith's redemption.
That's probably my favorite Western movie now that I think about it.
You've not seen enough Westerns, bro.
Mark, take us out.
Well, that has been my particular topic for the Nightmares podcast. If you could be so awesome to stab that like button, smash that subscribe, and click that little dingy bell to be notified every time we drop amazing content. If you are watching on YouTube, and also you can find this podcast pretty much anywhere where podcasts can be found, on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we're there. So, and then also you can find us on our social medias. Brandon knows how to list them.
You can find us on all of our social media at Midwest Horror Network on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and
Slasher.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time on the Nightmares podcast.